As much as we talk about Project 2025, my concern with only talking about Project 2025 is, as important as it is that it does not also allow us the ability to really hone in on some of the other things that we need to be thinking about. So let's talk about some of the receipts or some of the things that Vice President Kamala Harris has specifically announced during this campaign. And then in later iterations, we'll also look at some of the things that she's done previously, because what we can also surmise is what you've done in the past, you're likely to continue doing. So let's see what she's also done in the past. I had a couple of folks who, every time I post something now, people want the trolls is out. And after Labor Day, they're going to really be out. Right now, they're resting, because after Labor Day is when election season really kicks off. So let's spend a little time talking about what she's already said she wants to do. This is also posted on my Instagram a couple of posts ago. But for those of you who are not there, here we go. Middle class tax cuts. Vice President Harris is proposing a new plan for tax relief for more than 100 million Americans. More than 100 million Americans. That plan includes a $6,000 child tax credit for families who have children that are in their first year of life. So if you just had a baby from 0 to 12 months, you are going to get a $6,000 tax credit. That's what she's proposing. She wants to cut taxes by up to $3,600 per child for middle class families with kids. That's the child tax credit that we saw before, that the Democrats very successfully were able to use to cut child poverty within our community by up to 50%. That is huge. She also wants to cut taxes with a $1,500 tax credit for frontline workers in lower income jobs. Now, we know they ain't black jobs because there ain't no such thing, but a lot of black people are in lower income jobs, and she wants to cut taxes for them by up to $1,500. She also wants to extend $6,000 per year in savings on Affordable Care Act health insurance premiums. This is something that Donald Trump is trying to repeal. By the way, have you seen Donald Trump's health care plan? Because he certainly ain't put it out yet, and it's been years. We're going on year 8, waiting on that health care plan from Donald Trump and the Republicans. Let's talk about housing, because there's some housing plans as well. Vice President Harris, in this election season, in this cycle, since she has become the nominee, she has launched talked about a plan to lower the cost of renting and owning a home. Now, Donald Trump's plan for renting, based on what he has done before, because he ain't put out no policy about rentals, is that he ain't going to rent to black people. And we know that because he don't rent to black people. And we know that because he and his daddy, one of the first lawsuits that they ever faced from the federal government was because they refused to rent to black people. So his rental policy, his homeowner's policy is nothing for the blacks. And I'm going to assume that means other melanated people as well, but I would also assume that means nothing for the whites either, because he ain't giving y'all no housing policy. But feel free to keep asking the candidate who has. And she can feel free to keep telling you. So part of her plan for lowering renting costs and home ownership and to end the housing shortage, Donald Trump's a whole ass developer, ain't he? Got his name on all types of buildings. What's his plan for housing shortage? We don't know because he ain't got no policies. But you know who does? Kamala Harris. She wants to provide a $25,000 down payment support for first-time homeowners. Could have used that. I could have used that. Me and B, we could have used that buying our first home. Hell, and a lot of us could have used that, frankly, first or second home. But for first-time homeowners, she wants to end the housing shortage supply, not by just adding a couple more affordable units to already existing properties that are going up. She wants to build 3 million new housing units. 3 million new housing units. She's talking about the first ever tax incentive to build starter homes. She has talked about the fact that corporations like Zoom, I didn't mean to put y'all in it. I know y'all like, why ain't it? Zillow. And other of these massive corporations and we've talked about this before, it was in the news cycle extensively, how they will buy up entire communities worth of single family homes and then rent them to you at exorbitant prices. They won't sell it to you. And if they do, it is also at an exorbitant price. Literally price fixing I shouldn't say literally, that may have legal implications. Allegedly engaging in behaviors that literally look like price gouging and price fixing in housing communities. which allegedly looked like, note the change in tone and text and substantive text. She wants to also have a $40 billion federal fund to spur innovative housing construction. She wants to lower rents by taking on corporate landlords, which includes stopping Wall Street investors from buying up homes and marking them in bulk, which I just said, and stop rent-setting data firms. We haven't even talked about this issue yet. I'm doing my deep dives. I'm getting my facts and information together. But have y'all seen what's happening with the rent, the setting of prices? It looks like collusion to me. But it's essentially antitrust behavior by large corporate landlords using algorithmically driven databases and search engines to essentially fix the prices of homes and ensure that they are elevated to such a degree that you cannot afford them. And that's not only for purchasing homes, but also for renting. She wants to lower medical costs. She is lowering the cost of prescription drugs. That's already happening with Biden-Harris. It's going to continue under her. She's also talking about relieving medical debt. And she says that healthcare is a right for all Americans. Tim Walz' own daddy, when he died, Tim Walz' entire narrative is about the fact that when his father died, thank God for the Social Security survivor benefits. That's all his family had. It's all they had to survive on. And I will say this, it is really nice to see a ticket that's got two candidates at the president and vice president level, neither of whom went to an elite school. I'm sorry, not elite, Ivy League. They both went to elite schools. They didn't go to Ivy League schools. Howard is certainly elite. It's not considered an Ivy, right? But that's really good that we've got some folks who didn't go to Yale, Stanford, or Harvard. No shade to them, but come on. Y'all been mass producing horrific people who uphold empire for far too long to be the only ones sitting in them seats. So no shade. It's just what it is. She wants to continue the capping of insulin costs at $35 a month, out-of-pocket expenses for everybody, not just seniors. They want to cap out-of-pocket expenses for prescription drugs at $2,000 for everybody. They want to accelerate the speed of Medicare negotiations for those prescription drug price lowerings to happen quicker. She wants to work with states to cancel medical debt for millions of people and help them avoid accumulating the debt going forward. She wants to deal with grocery prices. We had somebody who called, was it Karen's show or my show? I can't even remember. No, it was Karen's show. They called her lying about the price of bananas. And so she went online and looked up the price of bananas and was like, that don't make no damn sense. I don't think she said damn. I cuss. She don't really cuss on here. But she was basically like, that don't make no goddamn sense. What you talking about? Bananas cost $8 a pound. She went to a grocery store in that person's community, looked up the prices of bananas. It was like 69 cents a pound. But people be lying about grocery price gouging. But grocery prices are indeed high. So multiple things can be true. And so her plan is to advance the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries. Now, the Republicans, Karen also called the store. Shout out to the team. She called the store to confirm the prices because that caller was a lying-ass liar who lied. But Donald Trump and them are saying that Kamala Harris supports communism because she wants to lower prices and stop price fixing. That's curious because Donald Trump damn near did the same thing during the pandemic because prices were too damn high and people were exorbitantly elevating the prices. So when he did it, it was fine. But when she does it, it's communism. Okay, we see it. We see it. She wants to make it clear that big corporations can't exploit you when it comes to running up prices and running up excessive profits on food and groceries. Hey, Kroger, how y'all doing up there with your surge pricing, gouging the people? And she also wants to secure new authority for the FTC and the attorneys general at the state level to investigate and impose penalties on companies that break the rules. That sounds like some motherfucking policies to me. To quote Plies, that's a direct quote. I'm just saying. That sounds like policies.